Good morning. Today we're going to talk about the things. As you can see, I got my ARBA, stands for the American Rabbit Breeders Association. I'm a certified rabbitry through them, nationally recognized. Yay! Just means I like rabbits, and I have a lot of them. Food, right? So today we're going to talk about the things. Woke up this morning and everybody's talking about the collapse, the end of the world as we know it, all this stuff, right? And you guys already kind of know my feeling on that. But we're gonna have a practical discussion. I'm gonna give you guys a win today. We're gonna have a practical discussion on bugging out. Stay tuned. So let me just be the first one to say, I absolutely love bugging out. Bugging out used to be one of my most favorite things to do of all time. So for those of you guys that don't know me or know my channel or know anything about me, I used to have a very successful RV channel. There she is. And I used to do everything that had to do with RVing. And I've always been into preparedness. Like I said, I kind of grew up in a preparedness family. And so, when I was in the military, I did CSAR, Combat Search and Rescue. And probably is no surprise to you guys, I was gone all the time. So whether that was for a deployment, workups, a hot tasker, I'm a flight medic by trade. So literally there were times where it's you go support them. And so the time I spent at my duty station, for every day I was at my duty station, I was probably gone 4 to 5 days. So the majority of my time was spent elsewhere. So with that being said, what's a young NCO to do? I was a young E5 at the time. So if you're in Air Force, it's a staff sergeant. If you're in the Army, Marine Corps, that's a sergeant. If you're in the Navy or Coast Guard, second class petty officer. So what was I to do? I know a lot of guys would live downtown. When I was stationed in Coronado, lived downtown San Diego in the Gaslamp area, and you could easily spend $2,500 to $3,000 for a studio apartment. Or I could spend less money and do something less traditional for really the same amount of space, let's be honest. So I went the RV route, and it was the best decision one of the best decisions I've probably have made, because I absolutely loved it. And this thing is retrofitted with everything: solar generator, all the fixins, so to speak. So I've put a lot of time and effort and money into modifying this RV to be truly off-grid and be truly self-contained. And so the money that I would have spent on an apartment, I dumped into this thing, which has been a great investment for me. And thanks to the taxpayers out there, because I'm in the military, right? Paid by taxpayer dollars. You guys paid for this, so thank you. Anyways, I digress. So having the RV, having free time on my hands, when I did have free time, I did a lot of RVing. I've been all over the country at all sorts of amazing RV spots, off the beaten path. I've done it all. Everything from high-end RV parks that have their own HOA standards and guidelines, and sign this, sign that, with hot tubs, jacuzzis, the whole 9 yards. And I've been completely off-grid, 50-60 miles from the nearest person. So I've literally truly done it all, and I can tell you it is a great experience. It is wonderful, but there's a lot of things you need to consider before you really decide that you're going to earnestly take on a bug out. So for a guy like me, a bug out was very simple, because I literally have my whole life with me that I can tow with my truck, and I can literally put myself anywhere, be totally self-contained. I mean, everything from power, composting toilet. I had enough food on hand easily for a month. I could do it. The issues are going to rise when you're talking about somebody that doesn't have that level of preparedness. If you're just going to bug out because things are so bad that you need to get from point A to point Z, you're going to arise into a lot of problems. And even if you are as prepared as me, you're still going to arise with a lot of problems. So in my situation, bugging out was cool, it was fun, but being in the military, especially doing the job I did, if something bad were to truly happen, I'd be activated, I would go. So, but for those of you that have a little bit more independence in your life, you really have to think about the cost-benefit analysis of bugging out. And coming from somebody who truly enjoys bugging out, I can tell you that the reality of the situation is probably going to be one that you're not going to want to hear. And this goes back to the stockpile mentality. If you're stockpiling food because you are afraid that there's going to be mass chaos, big agriculture is going to fail, infrastructure is going to fail, total grid down society, that we're going to turn into what other countries have become. If you really truly believe that's going to happen, I don't know why you stockpile. I don't know why you are getting into a mindset of liquidating assets. It boggles my mind. It truly does. Because in a situation like that, you need to be producing food, not stockpiling food. Because the reality is, once you've liquidated all the assets, what's left? I know a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to have this food in place until I can come up and be a producer, or until I can do X, Y, and Z. Well, I hate to break it to you, that's kind of a really bad mentality. If I know what the end game is and I know what the answer is, why are you doing something else that's not that answer? If you know in your heart of hearts, and you truly believe that there's going to be a total, complete, utter collapse, you should be doing everything you can to produce, not to, do something else until you can eventually get to producing. It makes no sense. That's an extra step in the middle that's unnecessary and unwarranted. Now, I'm not saying don't have a working pantry. I'm not saying don't have food stored up. But if you're one of these preppers, especially a YouTube influencer, and you've been talking about the end of times, the biblical ramifications, if you've literally been talking about and made an entire following, if you will, if you've dedicated your entire time, whether you're a YouTube influencer or not, to the end of the world's going to happen, you've been doing this for years, and all you've done is stockpile food, in my opinion, I don't think you're being very serious about it. I don't think you're being very honest. And on my channel, we just have honest conversations, because that's all I really care about. I care about the reality of what we're talking about. So, like I said, if you truly believe that we're going to be at this time where the food infrastructure is going to be gone, then you should be producing. You should be spending your time, money, and effort into producing, not stockpiling. The same thing comes to bugging out. If you truly believe in your heart of hearts that things are going to get so bad in the city that you need to bug out, and it's going to come to that point where you're probably going to have to leave because of civil unrest, tyrannical government, whatever hashtag you want to put in there, but you're not making steps to doing that, I don't know what you're doing. Because and I see these people all the time, and I get it. What I'm saying is not popular, but you're stockpiling 6 months, a year's supply of food. That's great. That's awesome. But if you have to bug out, you can't take that all with you. It's not going to fit. So by bugging out, you've already lost. You're going to save your life, hopefully, but you've lost that battle. And that's a big battle to lose. And trust me, I get it. We all have 1,000 reasons for why we can't leave the city. I totally understand. I had a great job in the city. I made great money in the city. The job that I had was a very coveted, sought-after position. You know what? I came to the realization and understanding that, guess what? If I have to bug out, I've lost the war. May have saved my life, but I lost the war. Everything that I've built, everything that I have prepared and stored up, it's going to be irrelevant if I have to leave. So for me, it was a no-brainer. It was like I said, I could have made 1,000 excuses to stay, but understanding the end game and the realization of it all, if I truly believe the city isn't sustainable, which I don't think it is, by staying there, I'm buying into a fake reality. And remember, the same guy that's saying this is the same guy that has a completely self-contained RV that can generate power and can literally go anywhere and equipped with a month's worth of food, no problem. You know what I mean? And so for most people, my bug out situation is better than their entire bug in or preparedness plan altogether. But you have to come to the actual realization of efficiency and sustainability. Like everything, we should look at the facts. Our emotions, who gives a fuck? Be damned. Look at the facts and look at the efficiency of what it is you're trying to do. Is this decision going to make you better prepared? For me, living in the city, it's not. And for anybody living in this city, you have to honestly come to that realization. Is this going to make you a better prepared person? It's as simple as that. Now, if you're somebody that has a ton of resources, right, and you live in the city because of the amenities, and you live in the city because of a great paying job, and you have property out in the country that's 100% good, ready to go, already producing, then yeah, you're in a perfect position. You can have the best of both worlds. You can work in the city, have the amenities of the city, enjoy the city, but if something happens, boom, you can go into homesteading mode like that. Food's already being produced, everything is already working, you have all the help hands you need, you got your mat group, and there are some people out there that are in that position. 99% of people, though, are not. So I know that most people, especially people that watch my channel, and most preppers in general, we are normal, everyday people that love our families, love our country. We work really hard every day to provide, and sometimes there's not a whole lot left over. And I get that. And from a preparedness standpoint, if bugging out is your number one priority, or bugging out is your plan A, it's a tough situation to be in. Even if you're a guy like me, back in the day, fully self-contained RV, months worth of food, no problem, can literally go anywhere, still not an ideal situation. If you're in a position where you believe that you're going to have to bug out because of the environment you find yourself in, whether that's because of civil war, tyranny, civil unrest, economic collapse, what have you, and it's a possibility, I highly encourage you to rethink your current placement and current situation. Because if you live in a city or in a suburb and you really think that you're going to be overran, you really think that things are not going good, it's not a good position to find yourself in, especially for those of you that have already invested lots of time and money into a bug-in situation. It's not a good situation to be in. And we haven't even talked about where you're going to bug out to. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. But if bugging out is one of your, top 5 things that you think about regularly because of what's going on in your current position, man, I'd really try to figure out a game plan, because bugging out is literally the last thing on my mind. But let's say you have to bug out. Do you know where you're going? Do you know where you're going to set up camp? Do you know where you're going to be? Does that place know that you're coming? Is that place ready for you? Or are you just planning on grabbing all your gear, throwing your wife and kid in the car, in the truck, and heading out somewhere? That is a really bad position to be in. Extremely bad position to be in. Bugging out is one of the last things on my mind, because I'm already so far out. I mean, my nearest city is 2,200 people. Okay? My nearest big city, and by big city I mean over 50,000 people, is over an hour away. I'm sitting pretty out here. I know if something truly bad did happen, like I said, I don't think it is, but if something truly bad did happen, there would be at least 2 families that would come to my place, my property. And we should, based on my calculations, we should be able to feed everybody and be okay. There's a possibility for a third family. If we had a third family, it'd be extremely lean, very lean. And by very lean, I mean we would definitely have to increase food production at a very significant level, and we would be. It's something I think about obviously a lot. I just don't know if it would work out. But I am expecting people to come here, and those people that are coming here, they know that we know that they're going to be here, and those preparations have already been made. And even then, it's a tough situation for them, because now they have to leave the comfort of their home to come here, because the place they're at is unsustainable, and their quality of life is going to be significantly reduced, because they're not going to be living in their homes. They're going to be out here either in their RV, or they're going to be camping. You know what I mean? And so life is going to be very, very different for them. And that's something else that people have to realize. This is not just people have this fantasy that I'm just gonna bug out. We're gonna live off the land. it's not a realistic reality, especially for those that are used to eating out and having their cell phones and having entertainment on demand. It's just this is going to be a way different lifestyle for them, and I don't think they realize the significance of that change. And I get it. It's the whole roughing it mentality. Well, we're just going to have to rough it, and when it comes, we're just going to have to deal with it because we're survivors. I get it. Cool. If that's the mentality that you want to have and you want to live your lifestyle now, but you're just going to somehow, survival mode's going to kick in and you're just going to be happy about it. Okay. But yeah, like I said, I encourage you guys, if you guys truly believe that bugging out is on the list of priorities, I'd say go ahead and make that your top priority. Get bugged out and start going from there. I mean, that makes the most sense. And like I said, if you really care about preparedness and sustainability is something that you take seriously, then you should look at the situation seriously. You should do everything you can to be most efficient and most sustainable. And that may require you to be in a place where you can be most prepared and sustainable. Like I said, I totally get it. I totally understand. There are 1,000 reasons why you can't leave your current situation. There's 1,000 reasons that you're going to make for why you are just going to continue to stockpile and you're going to stay and play until you are forced to leave, and then you'll just figure it out as you go. I get it. People do that every single year with hurricanes. They do it every single year with tornadoes. They do it every single year with tsunamis. People do it every single year. I have too many reasons why I can't go, and I'll go when I'm forced. That's fine. You're putting yourself in a really bad place unnecessarily, and there's nothing that I can say that's going to change that, because you're just going to wait until you're forced to go. That's fine. But for those of you that do have a little bit of common sense, please look at it from a very pragmatic perspective. Do what's most efficient and what's best for you sustainability wise. Simple as that. So in reality, here's what it all comes down to. There are many people that are going to wait till they're forced to bug out. There are too many reasons for why you can't bug out, and you're going to wait till you're forced. So for those people, find a good tribe. Find good people that have the common sense and foresight and the motivation to do what is necessary to be sustainable, to be efficient in their preparedness. Find those people and find somebody who's willing to take you in. The best thing I can say is hopefully you are prepared enough yourself and you bring enough to the table to where you can be a net asset and not a liability. But at the end of the day, what it's going to take is you finding somebody that's going to open up their home, their homestead to you and your family to allow things to work. So find that bug out spot, find that bug out tribe, find that bug out family, and start preparing, start planning. Because if you bug out and you're forced to bug out and you don't have that, I honestly don't know where you guys are planning on going. I mean, if you guys are really thinking you're going to go into the woods, and I mean, I know there's a lot of people that think that, but if you don't have a solid place, like if you don't know where your tent or trailer is going to be when you bug out, and if you don't know the people that are there, if you don't know the job you're going to be doing, if you don't have all that stuff planned out already, I don't know, man. The reality is, you're probably screwed. The reality is, I mean, it's not good. It's bleak. And I know you don't want to hear that, but that's the reality. I don't have any, hopeful things to tell you, pray to God and, I guess wait on a miracle. And miracles, they do happen, but there's no reason to put yourself in that position unnecessarily. Especially if you have the foresight to know all the different things that could go wrong with said plan. So there you go. I know it's not going to be a popular video, but I'm not here to be popular. I'm just here to talk common sense to you guys and get you guys thinking. And that's just the reality of the situation. So I hope you guys like the video. If you disagree with me, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you agree with me, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what you think. Tell me what your thoughts are. And as always, guys, and as always, long live the Republic. But if you're a cute puppy like Kova, we might have extra space for you.